Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is the 2006 model year 500-piece limited edition Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Rubens Barrichello. Rubens Barrichello, a fantastic Brazilian driver, really proficient in every form of motorsport, best known for his 322 Formula One starts, 11 F1 wins, 14 poles, and 68 podiums. But he's also driven Indy cars, stock cars, Le Mans racers, just about everything with wheels. And as late as 2025, he actually won the Brazilian NASCAR series, so he's still at it. And this watch right here was sort of the middle child of the Barrichello 2s. There was a 125-piece platinum model, and then another one that was made in 1,000 pieces in titanium. This watch in rose gold and ceramic with a little bit of titanium hardware. This is the 500-piece edition. You can see on the back individual numbering and the logo of Rubens Barrichello in ceramic. Taking a look at the watch, AP used to describe this as a 42, but I'm just going to come out and say that this meets the dimensions of the later Royal Oak Offshore 44s in almost every regard. So I'm going to describe this as a 44 because that's how this wears. They may not have been using the 44 terminology at the time, but that's definitely what this is. So described as a 42, properly cited as a 44. It is surprisingly thin at 15.2 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip. If we're just measuring the case, 53.8 millimeters. If we're measuring these gas or brake pedal style plots outboard, total rigid distance across the wrist, 58.8. And Sammy, the scale, tells me this is going to be one weighty machine. I'm guessing over 220 grams. Let's find out for sure. There you go. It's about half a pound for those of us in the old colonies. That is a massive watch, given that there is no bracelet involved. Rolling around, you can see the watch on my wrist is probably too big. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. And although the watch is sitting, it does not sit well with me. I think this is just a little bit too big for me. So again, my wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. You get a good sense of it down the barrel. I think that's probably your truest angle. Over the top, a little bit more perspective given the rest of my arm in my hand, and then the cuff shot. And it will actually fit beneath jacket cuffs. You should have no problem with that. The strap has a very integrated look. Case flows into lugs, lugs flow into strap, preserving some of the underlying integration of the original Royal Oak design. Again, everything on this model is fairly customized. So these little plots here, they're designed to look like gas pedals, brake pedals, clutch pedals. You can see the strap is held to the case with screws and bars, and that we have a single fold deployant clasp here that is also resolutely fixed to the strap so it can't easily fall off. You can see how that junction works right there. It's a single fold logo style deployant in rose gold. You can see it doesn't have one of the screw fixed pins that you sometimes see on AP clasps. The strap itself is thick. You can see large rectangular symmetrical scale alligator leather, black monotone stitch, folded edge, semi-gloss execution. We've got calfskin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging, brand new AP factory strap. Case, beautiful. A combination of polished and satinated elements. You can see that the crown side of this offshore is considerably more involved and detailed than what you get on a standard model. So we have these large-scale removable crown guards fixed by hex socket screws, and then you can see we have these elements. They're designed to look like the diffuser components or perhaps the exhaust stacks of Formula One cars. We have a crown here that could be described as almost like a center lock nut on a racing wheel. So one socket air gun on and off in a few seconds. But what's fascinating here is that if you look at the ceramic insert within the crown, you can actually see that what we have here is actually an octagonal crown, whereas what we normally have on a Royal Oak or an offshore is hexagonal to match what's on the bezels. This is a little bit different. This is a rare AP Royal Oak crown that matches the bezel. You can also see here we have a combination of satin and polish, and then a ceramic bezel that's designed to look like the vented disc brake of a racing car or a high-performance vehicle. You can see the outer faces have been machined open to reveal the bolts that hold all this together, and I'm actually going to propose that these are probably more like screws than conventional Royal Oak bolts because they don't align all the way around. They are approximated all the way around. I don't know if they're perfectly aligned by nature. They're fairly close. You can see that the inner edges are pointing inboard. So these are still bolts, but it's not as obvious to see the alignment as when they have slots. It is there, though. You can see a combination of satin and polish, and the nice thing about this material is that it is very scratch resistant. And you can also appreciate that we have a vertical satination on the top with a little chimney between bezel and crystal, and that's a rose gold accent that works really nicely. You can see elements of the Dubois de Praz module that sits on top of the base movement. You can see it through a grill on the dial, which is designed to look like the instruments of the high-performance car. We've got a tachymetric scale outboard, against which you can read the chronograph seconds hand and gauge the speed of an object, such as a race car over a kilometer. We've got rose gold indices, hands, AP logo. Let's do a quick loom shot so we know what we're up against in the dark. It is legible. We have a screw down crown. We have 100-meter water resistance, and this uses a hybrid that is modular movement. So on the top, a Audemars Piguet 2326, which is a JLC 899. And then the module itself with the chronograph, that is a vertical clutch module by Dubois de Praz, and it goes by the name of 2840 in Audemars Piguet service. So you'll notice that the center lines of these triggers are slightly above the center line of the crown. On the reverse side, you can see that we have more of those hex-style nuts designed to look like the hardware on a racing car, and that the case bag's a little bit of a, it's almost the inverse of the bezel. But Rubens Barrichello in polish and satin, there's his logo right there. You're somebody in the racing world when you've got a personal logo. I know a lot of influencers on social media who work in the watch space who have personal logos. I feel like I need to get with it. But on the other hand, Rubens is a more interesting character than I am. In fact, his son, Dudu Barrichello, is now racing, so it is a double generational Barrichello racing family. And again, father is still an active competitor, so it must be a lot of fun to be able to compare notes around the Christmas tree. Now, Michael Schumacher might have been the #1 at Ferrari, but the fact is Rubens Barrichello was always the more likable driver, and he had a longer career stretching from 1993 to about 2011. And in other forms of motorsports, particularly stock cars, he remains active to this day. You can see there's media blast on the caseback satin, there's polish. The movement is a unidirectional winder with ceramic rotor bearings, 38-hour power reserve, 4 Hertz beat rate, 50 joules. It features a quick set date, a hacking seconds function. The free-sprung architecture makes it more shock-tolerant, easier to adjust precisely, and the vertical clutch of the module allows the chronograph to engage without any jump or stagger. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.